Henry, John Tyler, J.K. Poe, Zachary Taylor, Miller Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, Jimmy Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, Presidents of the United States, 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 Presidents of the United States. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of
Like Father,
Like Son.
I am your host, Kojo the Character.
This is my main man,
Mr.
Kojo the Character. Like he just said, he kind of threw me off right there. I'm Mr. Unknown, and we are here with another episode of our show that we do daily. This is a show that was created kind of like in, a couple of months into the COVID-19 pandemic that had everyone at home figuring out how do you live inside life.
Yes.
So part of it was we started this show. It gives us a good opportunity to interact with each other, talk about what's going on in the real world. And it's been very successful, in my opinion. What you think?
I think this show has been going very good for a long time, and I think we're hitting that it's almost our anniversary.
Almost. We're almost at 200 shows, and then somewhere down in May or June or something,
June 17th.
it'll be a 1 year anniversary. So we'll see if we can.
Party.
We'll see if we can get that far. You know, it's been a nice ride so far. But today we're going to talk about a book that Asante is reading. But of course, we want to continue giving the love and the respect
to National Women's History Month. National Women's History Month, honorary observance of the month of honorary observance of the month of March in the United States, as designed in 1987 by the U.S. Congress in recognition of women's many accomplishments throughout history. A variety of agencies, schools, and organizations of the month by focusing on the consistently overlooked and undervalued role of African American women in American women in history.
Libraries
and communities promote special events that emphasize the achievements of women. Similar month-long observances occur in other countries.
So, National Women's History Month. It's also known as International
Women's History Month.
So, just recognizing the woman, right?
Yes.
The queen, the cornerstone of a lot of individuals' families.
Yes.
So we just want to make sure that we continue giving the love and respect to the woman species. Therefore, without the woman, not one of us would be here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that all works, but straight up, we come out of the woman and they give birth to us.
You don't know how
meaning because, men play a part, and then you have the woman who actually gives birth. I've seen 3 children come out of the female species, and even still, supposedly God is a man. But that's its own scenario, its own discussion for its own day. But again, giving recognition to the women, and we hope to continue giving the love and respect to the women for the continuation of the month.
So, without any further ado, let's get on to the best book I've ever read.
Wait, whoa. What do you mean the best book you've ever read? Because every time you read a book, you say it's the best book you ever read. And that's cool, though, because maybe, not every time, but yeah, I know there was Belly Up was one of your best books ever.
One of the best books.
And then there was
the best book.
And then there was Green Bicycle.
That was a good book.
And then what was that series that you read by Reynolds? Jason Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered his what do you call it?
Nate.
His name.
Track series.
The track series, yeah. And that was like 3 books, 5 books.
Ghost, Sunny, Patina. Ghost, Patina, Sunny. 4.
4 books. So you're saying that this book is surpassing all of those books.
For sure.
Okay, so give us.
Almost nothing can surpass it except McFarlane.
I don't know.
That's so sad.
I don't know if you've all seen McFarlane. I don't know if they have a book, but that is one of the most
Best movies
remarkable
ever.
movies that we've always seen. We've seen it
Remember
numerous
when-
years.
And when the big guy came in, is that what's the name? What's the name?
I'm not sure. I'm
And
not
then
sure.
the coach was like, is that what's the name? I don't say Sammy Sosa so bad.
But if you haven't seen McFarlane,
Oh,
it's a great
definitely
movie.
check
It's a
that
great movie for kids. It's a great movie for athletes.
Maybe
It's a great family movie in general.
Uh-huh.
So, we definitely recommend it over here on this side.
And if you have Disney Plus, you can get on there.
There you go.
So this book is called Out of My Mind. I'll show y'all.
I'm sorry.
But it's called Out of My Mind by Sharon M. Draper. This book is 11 years old, just like me.
Yeah, but we're going to show you over here. We're going to show Facebook because Facebook be tripping on us. But, we can show Instagram because they don't.
YouTube.
YouTube. I'm sorry.
Facebook.
Sorry, my bad, Facebook. YouTube be tripping on us, y'all. Every time we show something,
What happened if they banned us
they
for talking about
they
it?
usually cut us off and say, "Well, you can't do that." They'll get an email and things like that. So,
You got an email?
go ahead. Yeah.
That's funny. Out of My Mind. It's a book by Sharon M. Draper, New York Times bestseller, #1 New York Times bestseller. It's 11 years old, just like me, from ages 10 and up. I would recommend this book to any kid. And on the cover, it shows a little fish who went out of the boat, who's jumping out of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how she's feeling, out of her mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read the ending, right? But the ending was also the beginning.
Okay.
So it says, I guess I'll start from the beginning. Words. I'm surrounded by thousands of them, maybe millions. Cathedral, mayonnaise, pomegranate. Mississippi, Neapolitan, hippopotamus. Silky, terrifying, iridescent. Tickle, sneeze, wish, worry. Words have always swirled around me like snowflakes, each one delicate and different, each one melting untouched in my hands. Deep within me, words pile up in huge drifts, mountains, phrases, and sentences, and connected ideas, clever expressions, jokes, love songs. From the time I was really little, maybe just a few months old, words were like sweet liquid gifts, and I drank them like lemonade. I could almost taste them. They made my jumbled thoughts and feelings have substance. My parents have always blanked me with conversation. They chattered and babbled. They verbalized and vocalized. My father sang to me. My mother whispered her strength in my ear. Every word my parents spoke to me or about me, I absorbed and kept and remembered all of them. I have no idea how I untangle the complicated process of words and thoughts. But it happened quickly and naturally. By the time I was due, all my memories had words, and all my words had meanings, but only in my head. I have never spoken one single word. I am almost 11. And that's how it ends.
Okay.
So, this book, Out of My Mind, is about a 10-year-old girl about to turn 11 who has cerebral palsy, right? And that's a condition that are known as, what's it called?
A special need.
Yes. So she has cerebral palsy. That means she can't move, and if she can, it's just little nudges, right? To point at a word board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically. So she can't really move, like pick up a fork and eat. You can only
Meaning like her motor skills aren't completely developed.
She can't talk. It says cerebral palsy. It's a group of disorders that affect a person's ability to move and maintain balance and posture. CP is most common motor disability in childhood. Cerebral means having to do with the brain. Palsy means weakness or problem with using the muscles. So this girl, Melody, she can think. She knows a lot of things. She's the smartest kid in her school, but she can never tell it until she has the chance to. When she gets the meaty talker.
The needy?
Meaty.
Mm-hmm.
The letters are big enough for her to nudge and type things.
Mm-hmm.
And she's installed words, like regular words, like happy, the things like that. Like the words that were on her board, they were already installed, or she had to type them in. So all she has to do is nudge a button, and it'll speak for her as if she was talking. Right. And it's a good book because it has a lot of ups and downs. Because the girl can't talk, right? And a lot of people take her for granted. A lot of people think that she can't hear you when you're talking about her, and she can't see you if you're making a face and acting like her. But she can't. She has feelings like anyone else. But she just can't express them in the way that you can.
But then she had more of an opportunity to do that once she got her what do you call it? Meaty talk?
Meaty talk. And she was able to talk to the people who she lives with, who she works with, and this is, I don't know, man, this is probably the best book I've ever read.
How was she able to communicate with people before she got her meaty talker?
Well, like I said earlier, on her wheelchair, there's like this with all the words, or not all the words, but like common words like the, bed, stuff like that. Yes, no. So like if they would ask her a question, she would point to yes or no.
With icons.
And she would just have to do that every day in special needs room with all the kids who have special needs, right? And she it's like she's trapped in her mind because she can't express anything. She can't tell anyone what she's feeling because she's only in her mind. Everything that she knows is in her mind. She can never tell what she is thinking because it's in her mind, because she can't speak a word out of her mouth. If she tries to, she just makes weird sounds.
So,
like,
okay, so you expressed that this is one of your favorite books, or this is your top favorite book. It has now surpassed all the rest of the books and went from number 10 or 15 all the way up to number 1. What is one significant reason why this book, Out of Your Mind, is now your favorite book?
Because Sharon M. Draper knows how to write a book. She knows that in a book there should be some tragic times, some sad times, also some funny times, some good times. It's not just always serious. Right. It's not just that pale face. No, it's excitement, happy face, sad face, mad face. In between of happy and sad face. She knows how to write a book because there were some moments that were tragic and sad that made you questioning on why am I reading this book, because it's gotten really sad. And there were some moments that were funny, like really funny. There were some moments that were cool and happy that made me feel good. And there were some moments that were like my drop, that's the best.
Right. I don't know about you all, and but I can see the happiness. I can see the joy that you're expressing through your face and your gestures of the book. Now, what were some accomplishments that she was able? Was she able to accomplish anything by having this meaty talker that was able to help her? Did she have any success in school? Because a book is written about her, so she had to have some good, some bad. You'd like to give some kind
Wait,
of
say it again.
details,
Say it again.
like what was some accomplishments that she had?
Well, there was this quiz team that she was that they so they had something that was called an inclusion class, right?
Yes,
So once she was in the 5th grade, she
and
would be able to
that's when the kid from a mainstream and a special class can then migrate into
into
a regular ed
yes.
class. Yes.
And there was this one time where she was in Mr. What's his name? Mr. Mr. Deming.
Mhm.
Mr. Deming class. He is the world history teacher,
Okay.
right? And every year he's the teacher who hosts, or not hosts, but is the coach of the quiz team.
Got you.
And one day there was a practice quiz tryout. So there was a tryouts, but there was a practice quiz tryout
Mhm.
that was created to be hard for everyone. No one was supposed to get all of them right. Well, not that one. The real tryout test.
Yeah.
No one was supposed to get them right. But on the practice tryout test, she got all of them right.
Melanie did.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
And all she had to do was press the buttons. And everyone in the class, well, not everyone, but the two people who she had been in the class with before were like, "How do we know she's not cheating? How do you know that her personal aid isn't helping her?"
Ah. And so how did they figure it out that she was knowing that?
Well, on the real test, on the real tryout test, right? The aid wasn't there,
Mhm.
so she got all the questions right
Right.
without the aid.
Right.
But the two people, Clary and Molly, they were still like, how do we not know that she doesn't have it stored in her computer? Because it's kind of a computer also.
Right.
Because she can play music and things like that, search the web.
Yes.
But she was able to make the team, right?
So she's
And
on the quiz team. This girl with cerebral palsy.
uh-huh.
Wow.
And they went to there was this there was this quiz game, or how would I say it?
Like a match.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
a quiz match
Uh-huh.
against some of the schools in her school,
Mhm.
Spalding Street Elementary School.
Spalding Street.
Mm-hmm.
And we're discussing this book, Out of My Mind, and the author is
Sharon M. Draper.
And
it is a #1 New York Times bestseller, and this is my favorite book.
Continue on.
Of all time.
Oh, continue on.
So, right, they were at the match, and she was like the most popular person there because
Melanie was.
Melody.
Yes.
Because she was a girl who has cerebral palsy, and she's on a quiz team.
Right.
Looking to win.
Right. Not just being there as like a trophy, so to speak. Like, oh, you're just a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's there with actual knowledge in her mind that she can express through her talker. Yes.
Right. So she's there, and she gets most of the questions right. Mm-hmm. And they win the first round.
Yeah.
So all the other schools go by. In the last round, it kept going. One was going further than the other was going further than the other, and it kept going like that until the last question. She got it right, and the rest of the team got it right.
Yes.
And they won.
Right. Okay. So
But one of the key parts was that after they went to go to this, I believe, this restaurant, Italian restaurant, and but they had to. There was no ramp.
Right.
To get inside the restaurant.
I hear you.
So she had to push her up, the mom, and she was straining like,
Yeah.
Get her up.
Yeah, because they were going to celebrate. Yeah.
And then she felt embarrassed because she was having to get fed.
Yeah, well, I mean that happens because she doesn't have the motors in her hand, the motor skills to pick up that utensil and use it. Yeah, it's
And then out of nowhere, Clary, you remember Clary? I was talking about Clary and Molly.
And who was Clary and Molly? Those are her classmates?
No, they're on the quiz team also.
Okay.
So yes, they are her classmates.
Okay.
And Clary, she was feeling sick, and then she got up, and then she just threw up out of nowhere.
Clary did?
She doesn't. I don't believe she had any special needs.
Okay. So it seems like there was some real kind of exuberating, exciting moments in the book. What were some of the? Because you said that. What's the author's name?
Sharon M. Draper.
You were saying how she's a good storyteller, and you have some tragedy. You got some good stories. You made me laugh. You want to express, if you can recall, on something that made you laugh?
Yes, there was this one part. And there was something that I also wanted to tell also.
Okay.
With the part. So let me explain.
Okay.
So they won, right? And they get to go to Washington, D.C.
Okay. Kind of they're moving on to like
that's the championship.
Okay.
Like, so they get to go there. Stay in a big hotel, go to the winner gets to go to the White House, and the winner gets to go on Good Morning America.
Okay.
So, right, that day they got up and they said they had to be at the airport by 10. Right? But all the other people, all the other parents went out to eat before. And no one told Melody family.
Oh. Yeah.
The teacher didn't even say it.
Yeah. So that's one of those kind of
that's
me in the stomach.
That's not even it.
Oh.
They thought, and then they went into the airport early. And the flight people, they were like, or the people who had the desk, they were like, oh, that one just got canceled. And then
the flight got canceled? They're saying that though.
At noon. And then they were like, but you can catch this one.
At 10 o'clock?
9.
At 9 o'clock. Because they didn't want to fly with them.
No, that wasn't. Well, they really weren't thinking about it at first. And then they left her.
They left her?
And let me tell you why.
Okay.
So it says, as it turns out, Miss Gordon is absent today, so the first inclusion class I'm set to attend is Mr. Demmings. Are you sure you want to go? Catherine asked me. Instead of answering, I pounded my chair toward Mr. D's door. Catherine rests a hand on my shoulder as I wear in. A small brass colored trophy sits on Mr. D's desk. The room is quieter than normal. Mr. D clears his throat. He shifts from one foot to the other. He runs his finger around the collar of his dim white shirt. He's got to his old, well-worn brown suit, his old shoes as well. Finally, he said, "Hello, Melody." His voice sounds fake cheerful. I don't reply. He wiggles so much, he looks like he has to go to the bathroom. I just watch him. No kicks from me, no weird sounds. I'm amazingly calm. I glanced over at Rose, but she's looking in the other direction. No one seems to know what to say. At last, I break the silence. I turn the volume up loud on my machine, then type out, "Why did you leave me?" Somebody should have been there with a video camera proving that, yes, a fifth grade classroom can be absolutely, totally quiet. Faces search other faces, each one willing another to speak. Eventually, Rose stands up. She looks directly at me and says, "We didn't plan to leave you, Melody. Honest." I look her dead in the eye and I wait. I don't react at all. I just wait. She continues. "We all went out for breakfast that morning." I interrupt. "Nobody told me about that? How come?" None of them answer. The silence says what their words cannot. It's better without me. I blink real fast. Claire stammers. Claire stammers. Oh, I thought it was Claire. We figured you'd slow us down because you have to get fed and stuff. It's so quiet, I swear I can hear my own heartbeat. You threw up, nobody left you. Oh snap, I hear Rodney whisper. Clary stares down at her desk. Who took my place? Clary lifts her hand slightly, but she won't look at me. Rose scraps at a spot on her history book. We finished breakfast real fast because we were all excited, so we got to the airport extra early. Connor stands up. He looks uncomfortable. So when we got to the airport, they told us that the noon flight had just been canceled, but that we could make an early flight and if we hurried. Molly speaks next. So we checked off our stuff real fast and ran like track stars. Even Mr. Dimmy, down to the gate to get the early flight. Nobody thought about me? I asked. Silence again. Finally, Rodney says, "I did. I was the first one to board the plane. Just as I gave my boarding pass to the agent, I reminded Mr. Deming that you were missing." Mr. Deming again twists from one foot to the other. "I was so busy trying to count heads and check seat assignments and deal with everybody carrying on bags. So I asked the kids to call you home. I knew Rose at least had your number in her cell phone." All eyes shift to Rose. She looks at the floor, then slowly looks at me. A tear runs down her cheek. "We couldn't have made it there in time anyway. I picked up my phone to call you. I flipped it open when I looked at the rest of the kids on the team." She pauses. I can imagine them standing there, thinking about the chance to be on Good Morning America with that huge trophy and me.
That's yeah. I mean that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep, and you know this does, to my acknowledgement of this story. And I worked with children with cerebral palsy and orthopedically impaired children and deaf children for quite some time in my life, and I know what it's like for kids and people in general to be mistreated, ignored, looked over, looked past, and so it can get a little out of control, and people do get left with uncertainty. I don't know. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. It wasn't my fault. I'm just a kid. I did think about you. I wanted to call and I wanted to feel a particular way, but you know, it sounds like a really good book, man. It really
Well,
does.
another episode,
Of Like Father,
like son. I'm
And-
your host, Coach of the Character.
it's me, Mr. Unknown.
And make sure you guys read and check out Out of My Mind by Sharon M. Dorr. One of the best books, no, the best book I have ever read in my whole entire life.
And we don't have any rights to it. We were just reading to give knowledge to the people that may not know anything about this book. Hope everyone has a great evening.
Life is great no matter what. I'll catch you on the flip side.
Peace.